Hello everybody and welcome. I am the Beta Plan and this is Vampire's Coteries of New York, a visual novel by Draw Distance. And well, it's a new day of recording and it is time to visit this guy again. I thought we made clear Frank Doherty what he had to do, but he seems persistent. The weather is cold and windy as you walk to Sophie's apartment. As a vampire, that doesn't matter anymore. You may have been saddled with eternal hunger, but at least you can ignore the wind chill. Just as you come to the door of Sophie's building, she storms out, murmuring into her phone. Yes, I know. Don't worry. I trust you'll handle it. I trust you to handle it, sorry. You've heard Sophie talk to her associates before. It's always the same. Generalities and vague suggestions. It makes you think she's involved in mysterious machinations, yet doesn't tell you anything. Was a bit of a wrong voice for her, wasn't it? Sophie is dressed to kill, but there's nothing unusual in that. She likes to make an impression. A black car with tinted windows is waiting for her in front of the door. A chauffeur steps out to open the car door for her. Sophie notices you. I'm glad you're in the neighborhood, darling. If you could look around for me one more time, that would be wonderful. You told me you got rid of that reporter. Turns out he's still here, snooping around. Sophie is very good at communicating disappointment. She doesn't have to do much to make it clear that she's unhappy to have to return to this issue. Yeah, I thought he was gone for sure. I mean, he didn't seem very brave. Sometimes cowards are even worse than those with a backbone. They're sneaky. The reporter talked his way into the building during the day. Once the doorman understood what was happening, he threw the remote. He showed old pictures of me to my neighbors. It's very awkward, you understand? Sophie disappears into the car and the chauffeur closes the door behind her. You watch as the sleek vehicle disappears into the Manhattan traffic. Just one anonymous car among many. Best sit down somewhere and devise a plan of action. You go to a nearby diner, settle into a booth, and order a coffee from the steely-eyed Latino waitress. As she brings you your cup, you describe Frank Doherty to her, on the off chance she's seen something. Just as she's about to answer, you happen to look outside. Something catches your eye. The dinner is brightly lit, so you lean close to the window to see the street through it. You got lucky. Frank is standing on the sidewalk on the other side of the street, looking at something on his phone. You slide out of the booth, throwing a few bills on the table, mumbling something to the waitress. You step outside. For a reporter, Frank isn't terribly observant. You keep your distance, hiding behind people and cars, but he doesn't look around. It seems like he wants to find a private nook to inspect the photos he took tonight. An alley, he ducks in, and you follow. Oh God, it's you again. Please, I'm working on a different story, I swear! Frank retreats deeper into the alley. Don't worry, Frank. I know all about why you're here. You do? I mean, okay, I'm sorry I tried to bullshit you. Just tell me how I can help you. How come you're here? I thought we agreed there is no story. Usually when someone says there's no story, that means there is a story. Just couldn't let it go. Look, I don't want any trouble. I can see that you're serious. There's something about something to Sophie Langley. I think you know what it is. You take a long, hard look at Frank Doherty. He's a tenacious man, but brave. But not brave. I was already like, wait, what? But not brave. As the last time you met, you were sure he had been dealt with. Where did he find the courage to come here again? I like you, Frank. You don't give up. That's a real angle here. Everybody plays an angle. That's one of the things you learn in my profession. You're smart. You know there will be others after me. If there's a real story, they will come and find it. You best shut us with a friendly reporter, someone you can trust. Someone like me, someone like your buddy, Frank Doherty. So what do you say? Get ahead of the story. Be good for you, Miss Langley, too. You almost believe it, but something about Frank feels off. Do you have a personal interest in Sophie Langley, Frank?
What? No. I mean, she's an attractive woman, but I make it a rule never to get involved with people I read about.
That must require real effort to escape all those beautiful ladies who want what you have.
Hey, no reason to be mean. Sometimes I just need some extra money, that's all.
Where does this extra money come from?
There's a guy, he's paying me, that's all. But I can't talk about that.
I'm not gonna drink him dry. Tell you what, Frank, I'll make this easy for you. Work for me, and I'll make your life easier. I want to know who's after Sophie Langley, and you can get me that information. Who knows? Maybe this will become a lasting and lucrative relationship. Frank is taken aback by your suggestion. Still, he clearly needs a friend.
I don't know, I mean, if there are people leaning on me, they won't take kindly to it if I help someone else.
I know how valuable you are, Frank.
Some days, I get nothing but disrespect. I wouldn't mind a change to all that. Tell you what, next time something comes up, I'll give you a call. Maybe I'll have something you can do for me as well.
Quid pro quo? What else is there?
I'm a pro.
Frank hesitates for a second, as he was going to say something more. He takes one last look at you, turns and leaves the alley, disappearing into the crowd. You're left wondering whether that was a good choice. Frank is not reliable, that much is clear, but perhaps you can benefit from him anyway. Isn't that what Kindred do? Play people and turn them into puppets? I would say so. It's been some time since what Kindred historians would no doubt refer to as the Battle of the Cloisters. Still no word from Tamika. Maybe there's time you drop by and see how it's going. I still think I want to just at least finish what I have started. Oh, sorry, need a rest. You come back to your haven after a long night out. Right before you open the door, you notice something strange. The sound of television is coming from your apartment. Madman, if you're not mistaken. You open the door and carefully peek in. A young, disheveled woman is curled up on your sofa. She has a blanket pulled on top of her, and she seems very comfortable. Next to her lies an obvious, conscious, preppy woman. Oh, you're home. The woman reaches for the remote and puts Madman on pause. You weren't home, so I started without you. You know, Netflix and chill. Join me. There's space on the sofa. And I brought us a snack. You enjoyed it last time. The woman points lazily to the unconscious girl. Oh, I forgot. My name is Adelaide. Adelaide Davis. I like you a lot. Help yourself. Settle in. Thank you for all you've done for me. Still, the sun is coming up soon. You don't want to get caught here. Oh, that's sweet. I don't mind. I can spend the day with you. We should go on a proper date first. Not telling her if I'm into her at all. At least that's what I think that I'm saying here. Oh, that's nice. I like that. Adelaide bounces up, clearly caught up in the idea. The door to your apartment opens, someone with a key. Sophie. Adelaide? Adelaide Davis. The curse of the Snark Harbor in the flesh. This is a new low for you, fledgling. Adelaide looks at Sophie murderously before fading from view. I hate it when they disappear. I should have enough manners to slink away in embarrassment so we can all enjoy it. Sophie waits for Adelaide's shape to leave the apartment before she speaks. The clan of the moon. Did I not advise you caution with dealing with them? As you watch, Sophie makes a phone call. 10 minutes later, 2 of her servants arrive to remove the unconscious girl sprawled on your sofa. You clearly need my help. It won't happen tonight, but let me see if I can resolve your stalker problem for real. You're left to wonder what Sophie meant by that as she leaves your haven. Look, I didn't even know she was from the moon thingy. I can follow her. What are we going to do tonight? First, let's go to town. Immediately after you enter the park, you can tell that something is wrong. An odd silence hangs in the air, like the silence from a choking victim after the fight leaves them. It doesn't take you long to find Tamika. You see her in the distance, leaning against a tree. As you make your way towards her, she puts her finger to her lips. Only then do you notice the blood dripping from her side. You pick her up, letting her lean on you. She looks at you, her eyes wild with fear and rage. They are here. The Inquisition. They found us. Raoul, he threw them away. Saved my ass. He's still out there. We need to go. We need to help him. You're bleeding out. You're in no shape to mount a rescue. Screw you. The jolt of pain makes her almost bent in half. I'm going. You're barely standing, and I won't let you get yourself killed. I'm going. You wanna stop me? Might as well kill me now. Through sheer force of will, she manages to straighten herself up. Let's fucking do this. You head deeper into the park. Soon you stumble upon a sea of innocuous barriers. Service vehicles, black and yellow caution tape, men in work suits that keep the civilians out of a certain area. It's not at all difficult for a creature of the night to avoid these. You'd almost think that their presence here is accidental, but once you spot black vans deeper in, you get a foreboding feeling. Tamika grabs your shoulder and squeezes hard. Hold up. There. You have to squint to see it. Two SI scouts have taken tactical positions between the trees. There's no way in hell you'd have noticed them, or hit in time if Tamika hadn't alerted you. Body armor, camo, night vision goggles, rifles and semi-automatic shotguns. Some equipment you can't even name. These guys mean business. There's no time. She's getting ready to just pounce on them. Consequences be damned. You need to think and fast. Yelling at the top of your lungs, you rush at the men, forcing both of them to focus their fire on you. The first one falls before he's able to pull the trigger. The second one takes aim. Suddenly you realize you might have bitten off more than you can chew. Reflexively you squint, waiting for the bullets to tear through your flesh. To your surprise, no shots are fired. You open your eyes and see Tamika standing over your would-be assailant. She flicks her wrist, sprinkling the grass under her feet with the man's blood. Don't steal my kills. I distracted them. I didn't even steal anything. What are you talking about? All things considered, she seems to be doing alright. You keep on moving. Tamika gestures at the nearest patch of trees. Stick to the shadows. Take them one at a time. Sounds advice. Take it to heart as you move on towards Tamika's haven. It doesn't take long for you to run across more of them. 3 operatives in full riot gear and running down a park alley, sweeping the area with barrel-mounted flashlights. Keeping very still and very quiet, you wait for them to approach. Tamika watches you from the bushes nearby, clearly waiting to follow your lead. As the first victim marches past you, you lunge at. You always go for the last one at the back, not at the front, because then they will be alerted. As the first victim marches past, you lunge at him, sinking your teeth in his neck. In one sudden motion, you rip a chunk of flesh from his throat. Quickly, before the other two can react, you run at them, full speed. Just as you're about to take the first one out, Tamika pounces from the side, taking him out in an instant. As soon as she lands, she springs back up towards the other one. The single slash of her claws is all it takes. The man's body falls to the ground. After a second or two, his head follows. You raise an eyebrow at Tamika. She hits back with a roguish grin. 2 to 1. No time to savor your victory. A savage yell rings out from across the tree lines. You know that voice. Raoul. Tamika throws herself towards where it came from. It's almost unbelievable how fast she moves, considering the state she's in. You're barely able to keep up. Mere seconds later, you find yourself under cover of a rose bush, giving you a clear view of a nearby clearing. Off in the distance, you spot a group of gunmen converging. Slowly but surely, the circle of hunters close in on a lone figure struggling on the ground. The figure lets out a pained roar. Looking closely, you realize it's Raoul. caught in the same steel net you saw used against the scarred one. He struggles frenetically, trying to break free. With each passing second, step by step, the operatives close in around him. Driven by instinct, Tamika jerks forwards to save her brother. She stops herself at the last moment, as if reminded of your presence. Okay, how do we do this? Look, they're taking him alive. We'll find him. We'll get him out, but right now we don't stand a chance. No. Too late. The scarred one. She chokes up, swallowing the pain. You saw what they did. Fine. Just let me take the lead. Don't take any chances. She nods right, as if she'd listen. You move in like a two-person SWAT team, staying low to the ground before you finally make your first move. The first two hunters meet their death. Unfortunately, it's enough for the others to notice your presence. So much for the element of surprise. As two men turn towards you, with their fingers already on the trigger, another two approach you, stabbing at the air with their cattle prods. Prioritizing long-range attackers, you make quick work of them, slashing both of their throats before they can fire. Meanwhile, Tamika does her share as she swiftly avoids the cattle prods and moves in for the kill. Full bodies hit the ground. Two vampires are still standing. You both turn towards the last remaining foe. Driven by sheer desperation, the sole surviving soldier stands over Raoul and aims his semi-automatic shotgun at his head. Tamika growls. You gesture at her to stand down. There's no room for mistakes here. Looks like your number's up, buddy. Might as well give up. Don't make it worse for yourself. With shaking hands, the gunman looks to you, then Tamika, and as if warning you to not come any closer. It's mostly for show. He's fucked, and he knows it. Suddenly you notice his muscles relax, as if he's made peace with the inevitable. You hear Tamika scream. She notices it as well. Struggling to lift his head, Raoul looks into Tamika's eyes. The curses. A shot rings out. Raoul's body collapses under the weight of the steel net. His head, a gaping hole. Before either of you can react, the operative puts the barrel under his chin and pulls the trigger. Another shot. Another body hits the ground. You turn to your companion. She seems utterly lost, like a child, failing to comprehend what has just happened. Falling to her knees, Tamika lets out a yell unlike any you've ever heard. It's as if she's possessed by some wailing spirit, a banshee screaming out into the night sky. The scream echoes across the clearing until finally it all goes quiet. With tears streaming down her face, she looks up at you. It's all my fault. I put it in their sights. If it wasn't for me, it's still... Clenching her fist, she pounds the ground in frustration. Fuck. Sorry, that was more with my own voice, but... Come on, we need to get out of here. This isn't over yet. More will be coming, certainly with those shots fired. She gets up, a violent shiver runs through her entire body. As if she's literally trying to shrug off her despair. When she looks at you again, she seems far more clear-headed. Right. Let's get out of here. Hastily, yet carefully, you make your way... Now I used Tamika's... Whatever. Hastily, yet carefully, you make your way out of the park. You don't stop until you reach a nearby alleyway. There, in the relative safety of the surrounding darkness, you take a moment to rest. Leaning against the wall, Tamika presses her hand onto her wound. Finding off the pain, she looks up at you. Let's split off. Less attention. Hunt us, spot us, on the rooftops. Bad idea. What if you run into an SI patrol? She smiles through blooded teeth. Too bad. For them. Knowing when it's time to fold, you nod and head towards the far end of the alley. After several steps, you look back to see how Tamika's doing. You smile, noticing her absence. Having managed, and wild at heart achievement unlocked, having managed past a couple blocks without incident, you thank your lucky stars and blend into the nightly New York crowd. Hopefully, Tamika has made it as well. Well, that was something odd. Cam can wait, let's deal with the thing. I don't think Sophie would like it if I did not handle that quickly. Visiting Elysium with Sophie is always a humbling experience. She's connected, well known, important. And you're a nobody. You've always known this, of course, but it's especially apparent when you arrive with her. Everyone notices her, and she drinks it in like it's her birthright. That's Adelaide Davis. Let's go say hello. You spot the woman Sophie is referring to. Adelaide, your stalker. Intense, disabled, young-looking. A Malkavian, if you've understood correctly. As you approach, Adelaide smiles at you with a darting look of distaste towards Sophie. Come on, how was I supposed to know that my stalker was a Malkavian? That isn't like guaranteed. Don't worry, I don't judge people by the company they keep. That's sweet of you, darling. Let me say this straight. You can't keep doing what you've been doing. You have to leave my poor ward alone. Adelaide looks from Sophie to you and giggles. The sound must be rare in Elysium because it makes people glance towards you. I know she's making you do this. Don't worry, they'll be together again later. I'm not ready for a romantic relationship with you, Adelaide. Let's just stay friends instead. That's fine. Don't worry. We can stay friends. Friends who kiss and watch Mad Men together. Look, you're too much for me. Huh? You're too much of a woman. I can't handle you. It's me, not you. Many people have told me that, but don't worry. I can wait. We are immortals. The years pass, but the feelings we have for each other are precious. You should know that I will always be there, somewhere, invisible in the night. That is kinda major creepy. Sophie chuckles as Adelaide walks away. I suppose that went as well as could be expected. It seems you have a guardian angel. Have fun. And every breath you take is the achievement unlocked. As Sophie stamps away to chat with her friends, you feel lonely. Surrounded by kindred, you're not sure anyone can really help you navigate this bizarre social environment. So what was the point of that? Oh well, let's rest. Sophie requests your presence tonight, and it seems urgent. You find her already waiting for you and clearly pondering something. It takes a few minutes of awkward silence before she speaks. I require your assistance, Lamar. There's a matter of great importance that I need to ask you to resolve for me. You will find what I'm about to say surprising, I'm sure, but I need you to hear me out. I need you to contact an important anarch figure in New York City and arrange a meeting for us. Okay, let's not assume that we know her plan. She will be annoyed. This is invading her privacy, so the only thing I think is somewhat okay to ask is this. Wait, I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to meet with anarchs. We're at war, right? The prince does not look unfavorably at those who meet with the anarchs. That much is true. Oh, does look unfavorably. You will find that with this, as with many other things, the Camarillus policies have more than their share of hypocrisy inherent in them. It comes hand in hand with using medieval power structures. We are forbidden to do, the prince may do willingly. Some of these things can be done in the open, while others are kept secret, as to not invite discord and discontent. I need to contact a man named Torque. He's an influential member of the movement and, like most of them, very suspicious of the Camarilla. That's why I'm sending you to extend my invitation. And how do I know he'll even talk to me? He won't. Not yet, anyway. You need to start further down the chain and with the right story to spin. From my limited sources adjacent to the movement, I've gathered that your best chance to speak to Torg is to first meet his right-hand woman, Mia. I pronounce it in a way that's not her, but she's a regular at the club called the Leech Pit. I think it would be best if you presented yourself as an anarch hopeful. A fledgling looking for a place of belonging. Only after you talk to Torg directly should you mention my name at the meeting. I don't think that's the right approach. Lying to them won't make them trust me, and when they find us out the truth, they won't be happy or eager to work with us. That might be true, but if you tell Mia outright that I sent you, she'll likely to cut you off. She hates our sect, and it will be difficult to make her listen to reason. After tonight, I suggest that we do not speak of this again until you arrange the meeting. There are many who would jump at the chance to use this against us. With Kaiser, you have proven you can get the job done, even if it requires additional legwork. I trust you to deal with this task as quickly and covertly as possible. Forgive me, but that's all the time I can spare tonight. What I'm asking of you is just part of a bigger whole. Trust me, it will be all worth it. Okay, I'll do my best. I know you will. Check with Gregory for the address of the Leech Pit. Have Mia introduce you to Talk, and when she does, tell him I wish to meet. Let him pick the time and place, but let it be soon. If he proves too guarded, tell him I have something that will help him gather allies against Boss Callahan. That should pique his interest. Good luck. And obviously not a word about this to anyone else. Not even any new friends you've made in recent nights. This stays between us. The way she says that final sentence suggests a not so veiled threat, but her warm smile belies that impression. You want her to keep trusting you. You wouldn't want to disappoint her. Gregory gives you the address. The club is in Brooklyn. Apparently it's some kind of heavy metal bar with a dedicated concert space. Time to pay this Mia a visit. Well, and I think... No, we have some time left. Let's continue on. That doesn't really sound heavy metal though, but... The place is teeming with people tonight. You arrive in the middle of a concert. The music is loud, almost deafening, and it takes you a while to get used to. You know what? In fact, it is a little loud. Audio, can you... tone it down just a wee little bit? Thank you. I'm not sure otherwise if I can be heard. I still have the feeling that it is very loud for me. And even if I look at my audio recording, I can see that it is still very, very loud. I'm sorry. But this has to go down way into the no zone. What is this? Is this the ambient sound? Perhaps it doesn't take an effect until you change screen or something. The music is loud, almost deafening, and it takes you a while to get used to. The noise hurts your ears. This venue isn't suitable for this kind of music, and none of the instruments sound the way they should. The cacophony sets you on edge. I'm sorry, by the way, but I can't... You know what? I'm gonna end the episode. Hopefully I can get the volume down for the next episode, because this is just nuts. I say thank you for watching, and remember, great peril yields great beauty.